my fellow creators? Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a phenomenally blessed day. Thank you for joining me for another moment with Topics with Becky. This is going to be a narcissist series, but also just a regular video too at that, because if you haven't dealt with a narcissist, this is just something to pay attention to. But before we get into it, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And with that being said, let's go down the rabbit hole today, guys, and get into this topic. So I wanted to bring this up, and it is a short video, but it's just on red flags and paying attention to these things. You know, oftentimes people will get involved with somebody and some red flags will come up early on in the relationship, but nobody will do anything about it because they're like, oh no, it was just a one-off. No. It's not a one-off, okay? It's not something that you should ever ignore. It's not something that you should ever try to excuse. And I feel like that's the thing, is we're in a day and age where everybody's trying to have an excuse for someone else, and unfortunately that's not working out for people. You know, you think about people who are in abusive relationships, and man or woman, how they'll make excuses for the abuser because they're like, oh, well, this isn't normally like them, or, oh, they were just having a bad day. There's no excuse. All right. And I say this because I was in this situation very many times. And I want to bring up something that's very, very personal for me, which is this paying attention to red flags, because it is something that I have struggled with for a huge portion of my life. And it's not something that I have really started to honestly pay attention to until recently in the last year or so. So when I talk about red flags, let me explain a situation. I was with my ex, and there was a situation where he was upset with me, and he got so upset with me that I was making dinner. He came into the kitchen and this is very strange to talk about, so I apologize, but he punched me. He punched me right in my side, and he kept telling me, I didn't punch you that hard. I didn't punch you that hard. I was doubled over on the floor crying. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't do anything. And he's like, oh, if I had punched you really hard, you'd be peeing blood. And he just kept making excuses for himself. And I went into the room and I let him figure out his own food. I couldn't eat that night because I just lost my appetite, obviously. And my biggest thing was, if anybody had ever hit me, that would be the reason that I walked away. This was very early on in our relationship. Like, I'm saying probably less than a month in, this had happened. And I don't know what overcame me. I can't even give an excuse as to why I stayed. I can't. I excused him. I was saying that, oh no, you know, he's never like that. I was saying that that's not his normal attitude. That's not what he normally does. I was saying all these things, and really, at the end of the day, that's a huge telltale at how somebody is going to be. And understanding too that a narcissist, when they're put in a light where they're proved wrong, they will do everything in their power to recant, to make themselves seem right. Okay? Later on, we were playing Punch Buggy, and he told me, are you sure you want to play this with me? And I was like, it's just a kid's game. Like, how bad can it get? And it got so bad that my entire arm was black and blue, and he just thought it was funny. Like, he would always laugh about it, and he's like, well, I told you not to play with me. And there's a whole nother story that goes to that, and it's just another excuse, honestly. It was like his grandma found out about it, and she, you know, she told him we don't hit our women and this, that, and the other, and he went on to tell them, oh, it's just a game. So again, trying to paint a better light of himself rather than me just seeing the situation as it was. This was a very abusive person. And I feel like that's hard for people sometimes because we feel so alone when we get involved with people who are like this. And this goes for anybody. If you're with somebody who's a manipulator, if you're with somebody who's narcissistic, if you're with somebody who's a beater, an abuser of any kind, it's hard sometimes to say no. And the reason you're with those people is because you view yourself in such a terrible light, thinking that you're not worthy of someone that's good. And then once they get you in their grasps, it's hard for you to let go because it's embarrassing. What would another person think of me if they knew I went through that, is the question that ran through my own mind. And now that I look back, I see that my past is what has made me stronger. It has brought me into a state of mind where I know what I don't want, and that's powerful. And it's brought me into a state of mind of knowing to look for the red flags. You know, a lot of narcissists too, and this isn't quite as extreme as that, but I always try to bring up extreme examples because I think sometimes people who are in extreme examples and somebody who's playing it light, it's hard for them to equate that situation to themselves, like this next circumstance. When you catch somebody in a right out lie, okay, you don't need people like this in your life. You don't need to spend your time with these people because they're always going to try to do things to make you feel even worse about yourself, because that's what puts them in power, right? So the abuser, they're going to make you feel bad about yourself. Then they're going to build you up, make you feel bad about yourself, build you up, make you feel bad about yourself. And it's this up and down situation that literally breaks the camel's back. And not for better, not for better. Oftentimes it's breaking a spirit, breaking a soul. And I bring up this next situation is this. It's like there's a person that's been in my life, and it was interesting because I didn't want to trust my intuition. No matter what my intuition was telling me about this individual, I did not want to trust it. I didn't want to listen because I was like, no, you know, how could someone that's been this close to me think that way about me? How could someone that's been this close to me even view me in this way? And finally, I had to surrender to just saying, okay, I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to watch and see what happens. And this person constantly lies. Like they've constantly lied for a long, long time. And the signs have always been there. And the signs actually mirrored my ex. It's funny because that's what actually made me become open to it, because it mirrored so many situations of my ex. And here's the thing. It's like that. It's building themselves up to look a certain way, but then when you catch them in the midst of a lie, how they'll immediately be like, oh, I didn't say that. So like, here's a silly story, but like the Cubs win, right? I don't watch baseball or anything, guys. I don't, so I'm not a sports person. I used to be, but I'm not, because I used to do it just to please someone else, and I just realized I'm just not into it, and that's cool. I'm okay with that. If you are, great. But this story, like, it's like the Cubs win, and they're like, oh, the Cubs didn't win, but they won. It's all over the news. It's all over the billboards. And you're like, no, but they did. Oh, well, that's not what I read. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, I don't want to bring up too many personal situations in regard to this. I feel like you guys get the point, right? You guys get the point. And, like, I had a friend who was trying to build me up. And then there were certain circumstances that would happen, and this individual would go completely against the character that they had brought forth. And my intuition's like, no, you need to think twice about this person. And I just couldn't. There was nothing that I could do. Like, there was nothing that well, there was plenty that I could do, but there was nothing that I wanted to do because I was ignoring my intuition. So I'm asking you guys in this video to truly start paying attention to people, rather than you always trying to make excuses or to change the subject when it gets uncomfortable. Let the uncomfortable situation play out. Let it be uncomfortable, because it's in that discomfort that you'll begin to realize, wow, maybe this is not everything I thought it was. You know, there's that statement by Maya Angelou, you know, if a person shows you their colors, trust them the first time. I believe that in a sense, but I believe that we're all human, and sometimes when somebody's in a fit of rage or anger, we're quick to judge. But then when people show us their true colors, oftentimes we're also quick to roll over. So there's like finding that balance of knowing that, you know what, this person's not normally like this. This was just a one-off thing. Or figuring out that, no, this person's really a bad seed for me. Okay? Because there might not always be a bad seed. It's just in that moment they're not meshing with you. You guys are on different vibrations, and that makes a lot of tension. That creates a lot of tension in life. So I bring this up, just pay attention to the red flags. Pay attention to the people around you. There's no need to rush things, anything, friendship, family situationships, love situationships, whatever it is. There's no need to rush them. Okay, so this is what I have for you guys. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel down below, set that notification bell so you always know when the next video does go live. And until next time, go forth boldly, my fellow creators, and courageously find creative ways to rise above in life, laughter, and love. Until we see each other again, mwah, peace out. I love y'all. Bye.